Stefan Lewis, and welcome to Lunch and Learn hosted by Springs and Hurstbourne's maintenance team. For those who have not heard the concept of a lunch and learn, this is meant to be an informal session that allows different teams from across the portfolios to be involved in the training and development of our peers. We have talented and smart people on our teams who are also wonderful teachers, and this session gives you the forum for that. Most importantly, though, this is meant to create a discussion and the sharing of ideas to help us grow and meet the needs of our residents in the most efficient way possible. This is also a great networking opportunity for our teams, as this is meant to form strong professional relationships while raising critical awareness to targeted issues we are currently facing or may face in the future. We ultimately hope that this builds a cross-functional approach of understanding between our office and maintenance team members as well. With that being said, the subject of this session will be centered around preventative maintenance. Preventative maintenance is a critical part to successfully managing our properties. We know with an effective preventive maintenance plan, not only will the equipment perform better, the equipment's life will be expanded or extended, repair costs will fall, downtime will be reduced, the manufacturer suggested, and most importantly, resident satisfaction will increase. Now, please consider the following published data in the year 2000 obtained by RS Means, a supplier of construction cost data, and the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioner Engineers. In this data, we will focus on the compressor data. In the first column, EUL, as you see, refers to the estimated useful life of an average compressor. Next, we see the EUL degradation of that compressor, which means the percentage of estimated useful life lost if preventative maintenance is not performed. In this case, the data suggests that without preventative maintenance being completed on the compressor, the EUL decreases from 20 to 16 years, which is quite a sharp decline. In the next columns, we see the average cost of preventative maintenance, as well as the RM, or repair maintenance, which is the annual cost of repairs, assuming the proper amount of preventive maintenance is performed. Energy efficiency degradation represents the percentage of decrease of efficiency if preventive maintenance is not performed. And as we see in our data, we see a 35% decline in the overall efficiency number, which would negatively affect how efficient our products or our compressor is running in this case. The cost to replace may be on the high side in this study, as current trends show. Currently, I would say 2021 trends show compressors ranging anywhere from $800 to $2,800 to replace. The net present value of the data presented is calculated by comparing repair, energy, and replacement costs for property managers, and also bringing the cost to a present value using an assumed discount rate. So now that we've seen some data, now we get to see what goes into the hands-on experience when it comes to the preventive maintenance of compressors. And now we'll turn it over to Hank Carr, who is our maintenance supervisor here at Springs and Hurstbourne, who will share some insight.
So you get an AC call and the breaker's tripped. And you try to reset the breaker and it won't reset. Maybe it buzzes, maybe it trips a few seconds later. But one of the problems is your compressor could be locked up. Sometimes if you have a long line set, it can be too much pressure on the compressor and make it lock up. So one of the ways that you can fix that is by using a hard start. Now what this is an extra capacitor that gives the compressor more torque, which makes for an easier start. And this is recommended even on a compressor that may not be having a problem. But if it's got a long, either you're going to the third or fourth story or higher, or you're going across the building where you have a long line set, it'd be a good idea to put one on. And this takes pressure off your compressor when it starts. So how you connect a hard start is one of the terminals you want to hook onto your Herm or your compressor, and the other you hook onto your common. Just like that. And some of them are made with a clip, and you use that and clip it to the bracket that holds your your capacitor on. Hello friends. So I'm Hank, maintenance supervisor at Springs at Hurstbourne. And as we started the video about preventive maintenance, the biggest part of our job is to make sure that we make our equipment work efficiently, but also make it work as long as possible. So one of the things that we do to preserve our condenser unit is to clean it. Now, one of the things you want to think about is make good friends with your landscaper. When they're doing the mulch, you want them to make sure that they don't put the mulch inside and pack it into the grill when they're setting the mulch, to try to do it kind of neatly, because that can build up and cover up the coil. And then also, if there's any grass around your condensers, you want them to cut and blow the grass away and not into it. All of these things are going to pile up on your coil and clog it up, and it's going to kill the efficiency, and eventually it could kill the unit. Other things you have is like pollen, pollution, dust from construction. Anything that's in the air is going to get caught in this condenser. Your air is being pulled in and then blown out. So anything around it, it's going to pull it in. And so what we do when we clean it, we're going to use a foaming agent, cleaner with a foaming agent. So it's going to foam and it's going to push all that dirt out for us to rinse it, and then you'll have a nice, clean, pretty coil. So the first thing you want to do is kill the power. You'll pull the disconnect. So this is the unit we're working on, and for those who don't know, if you flip the disconnect and put it back in, it doesn't complete the circuit, your power is still off, and you don't lose your disconnect. You just stick it in there like that, power's killed, and it's in a safe place to where it doesn't get lost. So this new bright condenser coil cleaner, it actually has a foaming action. And any cleaner that you use, you want to always read the directions and see if it's a concentrate, how much water to mix with it, or if it's something you can use straight from the bottle, because that's going to have an effect on whether it cleans your coil or where it damages your coil. So this one in particular is 4 parts water, 1 part cleaner. So I've already got the water in there, and I need to just mix a little of this in there. Goggles. So you want to try to spray it evenly, get it all over the coils. So the instructions say to leave this solution on there for 5 to 10 minutes and let it work that dirt off. Okay, so it's time to rinse off our chemical. This particular condenser wasn't very dirty, but sometimes you can have some that's really dirty. I mean, it may have, like, I've seen some where the dirt looked like a blanket. So if it is that dirty, instead of taking this all apart, what you can do sometimes is when you start to spray your coil at an angle. And when you spray at an angle, it's going to kind of peel off a lot of that dirt instead of blowing it back into the coil. So we'll turn on our water. If it's really dirty, you can just blow it sideways and knock a lot of that dirt off. And if you can see the dirt coming off of the coil. It's kind of blocking the light. You can see the dirt coming down at the bottom. So if you notice, when I was rinsing, I started from the top and worked my way down instead of going from the bottom, working my way up, and then the dirt run back down on the coil. I'm basically cleaning it all the way down and then spraying out the drain that's built into the bottom. Now we're done spraying. Time to put her back into operation. We'll turn our water off. So it's recommended that you do this once a year. I would advise doing it before the startup of the cooling season. When we're doing it right now, this is the end of March, early May. Clean them up. You can get all the leaves, any debris from the bad weather from the fall and winter. Get them cleaned up for a nice, good clean to run for the spring and summer. Okay, so our condenser's clean now. Time to put it in operation. Now you remember, put our disconnect in opposite so that we don't lose it. We don't lay it up here or it gets blown off or lost. So we want to take our disconnect, turn it around. There we are. Nice and clean. Crying like a kitten. So we talked about our coils, our condensers, some other things that we want to think about this time of year when we're doing our preventive maintenance. One thing is our riser rooms. We want to check our riser rooms, make sure the lights in there are working, make sure we don't have any leaks. And then if we had heat to keep the pipes and everything from freezing, now's a good time to turn that off to save energy. Also, our dryer vents, now's a good time for us to clean our dryer vents. Each of us should have one of those brushes that you use to clean them out. But also, you may have what we have, where we got a lot of birds making nests in our dryer vents. So once we evict those, they make cages to put over top of them. We could install those. Another thing to check is our irrigation boxes and our sprinkler heads. Before we actually start that system up for the season, we want to make sure that all the lids are tight, secure, that they don't fall down in there and create trip hazards, and make sure that all our sprinkler heads are installed correctly. They're not broken or damaged. They could leak water and cost us money. Our pet stations, we want to make sure that they're upright, everything's tightened up, and every year we should check those to make sure that they're working properly. If something needs to be worked on or repaired or replaced, now would be a good time to do that. And then also with the weather warming up, now's a good time to check if we have any fire lanes or anything on our property that's painted exterior, like the fire lanes, fire hydrants, and so forth. Now's a good time to scrape them, pressure wash them, get them painted up, and get them looking good. That's it.
Thank you so much, Hank, for that information. We truly appreciate the hands-on, step-by-step approach that shows us how we can effectively accomplish our preventative maintenance on our condenser units. We also learned about a hard start, which actually improves the overall efficiency in our compressors that may have to work a little harder to get to a unit that may be further away than normal. We actually received some bonus material from Hank as well of things we may be able to add to our preventive maintenance plan as well, such as checking riser rooms, checking dryer vents for debris and birds, fire lanes that may be damaged from salt usage due to the snowfall that we may have had over the wintertime. And something I would like to add as well, inactive wasp nest. We know that sometimes it can be out of sight, out of mind after the summer months and during the winter as the wasps go away. But as we got the spring coming and the summer coming, the wasp will return to those nests, and we will be getting work orders for those as well as residents see that and want them removed. So that could be also something we can do to be proactive ahead of the summer months. So in closing, at the conclusion of this video, we open the forum up to open discussion. We invite you to share ideas that you have been doing in your community, that you're doing to improve your preventive maintenance plan or go above and beyond the standard plan that's been set. If you have any questions for Hank and I, we're open to that as well. But we truly encourage you to take advantage of this lunch and learn, to share, teach each other, and empower each other to be better when it comes to serving our residents on a daily basis. We want to thank you once again for being a part of this and allowing us to have your time today and watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If there's any feedback that you have for us and how we can improve when it comes to our presentation or within the video itself, we're open to that as well. But thank you so much for being a part of this. We definitely look forward to continuing the lunch and learn and hopefully seeing some of your videos in the future when it comes to improving our communities, not only on the maintenance side, but also on the office side as well. So thank you once again. And thank you for being a part of Lunch and Learn with Hurstbourne.